Top 8 Predictions for AI in 2024. How tech will change your life in coming years, according to experts. Let us be thankful for the AI industry. Its leaders may be nudging humans closer to extinction, but this year, they provided us with a gloriously messy spectacle of progress. When I say year, I mean the long year that began late last November, when OpenAI released ChatGPT and, in doing so, launched generative AI into the cultural mainstream. In the months that followed, politicians, teachers, Hollywood screenwriters, and just about everyone else tried to understand what this means for their future. Cash fire hosed into AI companies, and their executives, now glowed up into international celebrities, fell into succession-style infighting. The year to come could be just as tumultuous, as the technology continues to evolve and its implications become clearer. 1. You'll be unable to escape AI. AI became a big thing in 2023. But it'll be even bigger in 2024. We believe this is the biggest technology revolution in the last 30 years, says Dan Ives, Managing Director and Senior Equity Analyst at Wedbush Securities. From the likely release of a new version of the technology underpinning ChatGPT from OpenAI, to competitors gaining ground on the market leader, there'll be plenty of ways AI will be layered into our lives in the coming year. Individuals and businesses will continue to experiment with generative AI tools, developing and discussing best practices for how to responsibly integrate them into existing processes, says Gina Matthews, professor at Clarkson University in New York. 2. You'll start spending more time on TikTok. If you haven't already migrated to the short-form video platform in 2023, it's likely that you will in 2024. In part, that's because it's where those making the conversation will be. We will see more traditional news organizations, more politicians and more NGOs trying to reach an audience here, says Marcus Bosch, a research fellow at HAW Hamburg and a TikTok expert. We will see longer formats and more live streams and more effects and filters. And despite the constant looming threat of the app being put out of existence by governments worldwide, Bosch believes TikTok will not be banned. 3. You'll see AI-generated disinformation. Unless Rishi Sunak decides to postpone the inevitable, the UK is expected to be one of more than 100 countries holding an election in 2024. And that means there'll be plenty of campaigning taking place. But you'll have to keep an eye out to make sure what you're seeing is legitimate. The impact of AI to promote and spread disinformation, or fake news, is going to be a major technology policy focus area, says Chris Henkin, Fellow of the Institute for Security Science and Technology at Imperial College London. Ahead of all of these elections, the detection and prevention of misinformation and disinformation and the cybersecurity of the ballot process are likely to be major technological challenges in 2024, he says. So it's worth bearing in mind that in a post-generative AI world, where it's easy to create deep-faked audio, video and imagery, that seeing is no longer necessarily believing. 4. Your data will become even more valuable. Unlike many of the other entries on this list, this one is deeply boring and unsexy. But it's important. As many of us start to stock up for the festive period, it has become even more obvious how important loyalty cards, and the data they collect, are to stores. Almost every supermarket in the UK seems to offer discounts to customers willing to consent to their purchases being tracked. And they're increasingly steep. We've seen 83% discounts on some shopping baskets. Currently, they're the preserve of supermarkets, but it's possible that we'll see membership discounts in other areas, including in fashion, in 2024. Regulators may feel they need to do something to stop the predatory behavior of retailers who only offer up steep price cuts to those willing to hand over data. 5. Your streaming service bills will get a lot more complicated. Bad news if you're already struggling to keep track of where to watch what, and how much comes out of your bank account from Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, and Disney Plus already. 2024 is going to get more complicated. That's what Deloitte predicts in its annual tech, gaming and entertainment forecast for 2024. The average streaming video platform currently offers users 4 different tiers of options, depending on whether they want to watch simultaneously on multiple screens, to download movies and shows for offline watching, and a number of other factors. But add in the new gold rush of ad-supported tiers that platforms have realized can bring in new customers at a lower price point, and that'll double in the next 12 months, Deloitte believes. 6. Apple jumps in. Apple has an established pattern of waiting, watching and learning from other companies' failures, then blowing in with a refined and polished take that puts others to shame. The timing is right for Apple to do this in AI, not just because if it waits too long its competition may eat up the market, but because the tech is ripe for their kind of improvement. I would expect an AI that focuses on practical applications of users' own data, using Apple's increasingly central position in their lives to integrate the many signals and ecosystems the company is privy to. There will likely also be a clever and elegant way to handle problematic or dangerous prompts, and although it will almost certainly have multimodal understanding, primarily to handle user images, I imagine they'll totally skip media generation. Expect some narrowly tailored but impressive agent capabilities as well. Siri, get a table for 4 at a sushi place downtown around 7 and book a car to take us, sort of thing. What's hard to say is whether they will bill it as an improved Siri or as a whole new service, Apple AI, with a name you can choose yourself. They may feel the old brand is freighted with years of being comparatively incapable, but millions already say, "Hey Siri," every 10 seconds, so it's more likely they'll opt to keep that momentum. 7. You probably still won't have fully self-driving cars. The recall of nearly all Tesla vehicles in the United States in mid-December because of crashes linked to the company's self-driving autopilot system didn't affect British drivers, because autopilot isn't allowed by regulators over here. But it was a blow to confidence in the technology worldwide, and a suggestion that, years into its development, self-driving vehicles still aren't ready for prime time. No matter what Elon Musk wants to say. 8. The 2024 election is a trash fire and AI makes it worse. How the 2024 presidential election will play out is, really, anyone's guess right now. Too many things are up in the air to make any real predictions except that, as before, the influence mongers will use every tool in the box to move the needle, including AI in whatever form is convenient. For instance, expect bot accounts and fake blogs to spout generated nonsense 24/7. A few people working full-time with a text and image generator can cover a lot of ground, generating hundreds of social media and blog posts with totally fabricated images and news. Flooding the zone has always been an effective tactic, and now AI acts as a labor multiplier, allowing more voluminous yet also targeted campaigns. Expect both false positives and false negatives in a concerted effort to confuse the narrative and make people distrust everything they see and read. That's a win state for those politicians who thrive in chaos. Organizations will tout AI-powered analyses to back up purges of voter rolls, challenges to vote counts, and other efforts to suppress or interfere with existing processes. Generated video and audio will join the fray, and though neither are perfect, they're good enough to be believable given a bit of fuzzing. The clip doesn't have to be perfect, because it will be presented as a grainy zoomed-in cell phone capture in a dark room, or a hot mic at a private event, or what have you. Then it becomes a matter of, who are you going to believe, me or him? And that's all some people need. Likely there will be some half-hearted efforts to block generated content from being used in this way, but these posts can't be taken down fast enough by the likes of Meta and Google, and the idea that X can, or will, effectively monitor and take down such content is implausible. It's gonna be a bad time. Thanks for tuning in, techies. Until next time, keep exploring, keep innovating, and keep that dialogue about tech alive. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Take care, and tech on.